I'm not sure if this belongs here or anywhere, really. I've never posted anything like this. But I need to tell someone what's been happening, because keeping it to myself is starting to mess with my head. Something is wrong with this house. Deeply, seriously wrong. And it started with a hidden door I wasn't supposed to find. The house belonged to my grandfather. He passed away 6 months ago, and no one else in the family wanted the place. It's a single-story home just outside town, surrounded by trees. Quiet, private, a little rundown, but nothing major. The kind of place people would call peaceful if they didn't know any better. He lived here for over 30 years. After my grandmother died, he pretty much stopped talking to people. He didn't go out much, didn't call. We thought he just wanted to be left alone. I visited now and then, but he was always distant. He never let me stay long. He only let me into the kitchen and living room. He said the rest of the house was for storage. At first, I assumed he was just being grumpy. Now I'm not so sure. When I moved in 2 months ago, everything felt normal. Just an old house filled with old furniture and older memories. I started cleaning it up, clearing out cobwebs, getting rid of stuff I didn't need. It was kind of peaceful at first, but that feeling didn't last long. It started with small things. Sounds I couldn't explain, light bulbs burning out too fast. The hallway would feel colder than the rest of the house, even with the heat running. I'd hear soft thumps at night, always from the same part of the hall, near the back bedroom. I figured the place just had bad insulation or maybe rats in the walls. It's an old house. Strange sounds come with it. But then, a few nights ago, I noticed something strange. There's a long hallway that leads from the living room to the bedrooms. On the left side, just past the bathroom, I noticed a section of the wall that didn't look quite right. The wallpaper had a slight ripple, like it had been smoothed over something. I touched it, and it felt hollow underneath. I knocked. It didn't sound like the rest of the wall. I pulled back the wallpaper, and my heart dropped. It was a door, hidden behind the paper. No handle, just a keyhole. I should have left it alone. I know that now. But curiosity got the better of me. I searched the house for hours before I found a key in a tiny box inside the back of my grandfather's closet. The box also held a worn-out leather book. Inside, all the pages were blank except one, which had a hand-drawn sketch of a door. The same door I found. It took effort, but the key worked. Behind the door was a steep wooden staircase leading down. The air hit me first, cold and damp, like a basement that hadn't been opened in decades. There was no smell of rot though, just dry, still air that didn't feel like it belonged in the house. The stairs creaked with every step. The flashlight I brought barely cut through the darkness. At the bottom was a small room made of stone, not concrete or wood like the rest of the house. There was a wooden table in the center, one chair, and shelves on the walls filled with old notebooks. A single light bulb hung from the ceiling, dead. The notebooks were filled with my grandfather's handwriting. Every single one was a record of things he'd heard or seen, not regular journal stuff. I mean strange, unbelievable stuff. He wrote about hearing voices in the vents, shadows that moved when nothing was there. He talked about doors that open by themselves and things that don't belong here. One note said, "It comes at night, but only if the door is open." Another said, "The hallway is thinner now. I think it's getting through." And then I found a notebook with my name on the front. Inside were notes about me, the day I first visited, the last time I called him. One page simply read, "He'll find it. I won't be here when he does." That was when I heard a noise upstairs. 3 footsteps. Then nothing. I shut off the flashlight. Everything went completely silent. I listened. No breathing, no creaking, just dead silence. I turned the flashlight back on and backed out of the room. I locked the door behind me and pressed the wallpaper back down over it. I sat on the floor for hours, just staring at the wall. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I searched the rest of the house for more strange things. I didn't find anything new. but when I walked past the hidden door again, I swear I heard something on the other side. A slow, dragging sound, like something moving across the floor. That night, at exactly 12:03 a.m., I heard those same 3 footsteps again. This time, they stopped directly outside my bedroom door. I didn't open the door. I sat in my bed, frozen, holding my breath, waiting to hear more. But after those 3 slow footsteps, there was nothing. No knock, no whisper, just stillness. I stared at the crack beneath the door, expecting to see a shadow pass by. Nothing. Eventually, the hallway light turned off on its own. That light has never done that before. I stayed awake until morning, not moving, not making a sound. When the sun finally came through the window, I got up and checked the hallway. It was empty. The wallpaper over the hidden door was still there, slightly peeling at the corners now. I could still see the outline of the frame. I should have left the house that day. I should have packed a bag and never looked back. But I didn't. I convinced myself I was just tired, that maybe I imagined the footsteps. Maybe the notebooks were just the writings of a man who had been alone too long. That's what I told myself. But deep down, I knew better. Later that afternoon, I tried calling someone to come over. A friend, anyone. My phone dropped the call twice. Then it just went dead. No signal. I checked the outlets in the house. None of them were charging anything. The power was on, but it felt like something was off. I stepped outside to get some air. That's when I noticed something strange. The ground around the house looked different. The grass was darker, like it had been burned, but only in a thin path leading from the edge of the woods to my back door. Not wide, just enough for one person to walk through. And the door was unlocked. I hadn't opened it in days. When I stepped back inside, the air felt colder, heavier. Not freezing, just still, like the house was holding its breath. That night, I set up my phone to record video, pointing down the hallway at the hidden door. I didn't expect anything. I just needed to prove to myself that nothing was happening. I went to bed early, left the small lamp on, wrapped myself in blankets, and waited. At 12:03 a.m., the hallway light flicked off again. Then came the footsteps. 3 steps, then silence. I didn't dare move. I didn't breathe. The air around me felt thicker than ever, like something was pressing down on my chest. The next morning, I checked the video. It showed nothing for the first few hours, just a still shot of the hallway. Then, right at 12:03, the light blinked off. And for a split second, there was something in the frame. Not a person. Not clearly. Just a tall, dark shape, almost like it leaned out of the wall itself. No details, no face, just a shadow that shouldn't have been there. It moved once slow, like it was listening, then pulled back. I don't even remember hitting stop on the video. I just sat there, staring at the screen. Then I made the mistake of opening the hidden door again. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I thought I could end it. Maybe I thought if I saw everything, it would somehow make it less real. I brought a flashlight, took a deep breath, and went down the stairs again. The notebooks were still there. The room was still cold, but this time something was different. There was a second chair, identical to the first, placed across the table from it, and on the table was a third notebook. It was open. Only one sentence was written inside. Now we wait. I backed out of the room. This time I didn't lock the door. I couldn't. My hands were shaking too much. I just pushed the wallpaper back into place and left it. Last night was the worst so far. At exactly 12:03 a.m., the hallway light went off. Then my bedroom door opened by itself, just an inch. I couldn't see anything, but I felt it. The cold air moved in like fog. The room felt smaller, like the walls had shifted closer. And then I heard the voice. It was low, dry, right next to my ear. It said, "Come downstairs." That's all. I didn't move. I didn't sleep. I waited for the sun to rise, then I walked outside. I stood in the middle of the yard and tried to figure out what to do. That's when I saw the basement window, a small square near the ground I hadn't even noticed before. There was something behind the glass, watching me. I don't live in that house anymore. I packed a single bag and left that morning. I haven't been back. I check the door sometimes just to make sure it's still locked. But last night, I got a text from an unknown number. It said, "You left the door open," and attached was a photo. It was the hallway, my hallway, from inside the house. The light was off. The wallpaper was peeled back, and the door at the end was wide open.